What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do go ahead and do so and hit that notification bell. And so let's get into this podversation. All right. It has been going around for the past several days about Ariane, the woman who has repeatedly said that she is tired of Love and Marriage Huntsville using her image and her likeness, which is absolutely ridiculous because we all know that her image and her likeness was never on the show. And the only person she should really be upset with is the man who gave her a baby while he was married to his wife at the time, Melody. So she has recently, I don't think it's a cry for help, I think it's a cry for attention, but she has recently put out a post on her Instagram stories where she was talking about how she is in this space, or has been in a space of wanting to no longer be alive. I'm not going to use the words here. And it seems to happen more so around the time when that show, is what she calls it, which we know as Love and Marriage Huntsville, is about to come on. And as we all know, the season premiere is about to debut on Saturday, March the 19th. So here's the thing. I will never be one to attack someone's mental issues. I would never be the one to call out someone to say, oh, they're just, it's the boy who cried wolf situation. They're not going to do anything. I would never say that. And you never really know what somebody is going through internally, because sometimes people have a good way of covering up in public and showing the best of themselves. But there also are people who they're seekers of attention, and they definitely want to play the sympathy card. And with Ariane, she's not really gaining the sympathy of a whole lot of people because she has been extremely unapologetic about what she has done. And what she has done, although some people may disagree and say no one can steal a man or no one can cause someone's household to break up. Yeah, you can. You can interfere, and that's the reason why there are some states where the spouse, not just the wife, but the spouse can sue someone else who was having an affair with their spouse for alienation of affection. So it definitely is a real thing where someone can contribute to the dissolution of a marriage and cause the breakdown of a household. But she doesn't want to take any accountability for what she has done. So when she says that she is feeling this way a lot of times around when the show is coming on, a lot of people wonder, is it really the way you are feeling, or are you just pissed off because they refuse to allow you to be on the show? Because she made it clear when she was interviewed by Tasha K that if they are not going to allow her to be on the show, then she doesn't want her image and her likeness to be on the show. Her image and her likeness has never been on the show. Her baby daddy had one phone call over speakerphone while he was in the car driving, where he even questioned the paternity of the child, and she felt like, are you kidding me? I'm like, I can't even believe you're saying this right now. I'm like 1000% sure that you are the father. So the person that she should really be upset with is the main person that she is not directing all of that heat to. She's directing the heat at the viewers, at Melody, at the people who support Melody and support marriage and support wives. She's spewing that energy at the other couples on the show. When she did the interview and she said that Marceau and Maurice definitely have been cheating on their spouses as well. I mean, I did a previous conversation where I talked about why I really believe she did that, and I do believe Martell put her up to doing that, and I do believe that she is definitely Martell's puppet. But the reason, I would say, one of the other reasons why I would say I do not really believe this so-called cry for help is because not just the interview that she did a couple of months ago with Tasha K, but a few years ago, she had a recorded phone conversation, although she wasn't aware at the time that the phone call was being recorded, where she had a conversation with Tasha K. And I remember listening to that, and I was disgusted back then. Although at the time, I never thought that we would have the revelation of who this person was. But she was very explicit. She was extremely not here for Melody, and she was explicit with details of what she and Martell did sexually, how he would do this to her and do that to her private area and all this other stuff, and go back to Melody. Like, she was well aware that he was married to someone else. But in that interview, she tried to come across as if, well, you know, when I met him, I didn't know he was married, and by the time we were in deep, that's when I found out it was just kind of too late and feelings were involved and blah, blah, blah. But no, in that conversation she had with Tasha K a few years ago, she made it clear that she knew. And she also tried to make it seem as if, well, he was with me first. You know, he was going back and forth to her and me, and she knew about me and all of this other crazy foolishness. But I still just am not here for this so-called cry for help, which again I feel is more of a cry for attention, because also she tried to call out Carlos King in the comments of another Instagram account where Carlos King, he called out Anna Wintour and said that he needs to have Nicki Minaj and Lil' Kim on the cover of Vogue magazine for the culture, is what he said. And he was calling out someone else. So Ariane had the nerve to try to take that as her opportunity to call out Carlos King. And it's like, girl, like, who do you really think you are? It is sad, and I realize she is far from a little girl. She is a young woman. She's in her late 20s. But the more she does things like this, the more she just seems so extremely immature, unlearned, unskilled, not wise in any shape or form when it comes to relationships and just how to conduct yourself in public spaces. For her to call out Carlos King, the executive producer of Love and Marriage Huntsville, like, who do you think you are? Like, did she feel like she was going to bully him into bringing her on the show? She claims that people want to see her on the show. What do you think? Like, what planet are you on? It is insane to me that she thinks that she deserves a spot on the show. Create your own platform. Create your own platform. You have an Instagram account. I heard that she has a YouTube channel. Like, do your thing in your own space and tell the story that you want to tell, even if it's a lie, because every liar has somebody that supports them. So not everybody is against her, but she's feeling the heat of it because more people have more morality than she does, and that some of the people who support her do. Because I went to her Instagram account and I didn't look at all of her posts, but there was one post, because apparently she has an online clothing boutique, and she was posing in one of the outfits, I guess, that she has in her boutique. And one of the top comments on that post, someone wrote, "I can see why he cheated with you." And that was a woman that said that. How low, how foul can you be? Like, that just because somebody looks good to you, you're going to give that a check and a thumbs up and say, well, you know what, you look good, so I see why he cheated on his wife with you. Like, that is just so ridiculous. But the most ridiculous part about it is, again, it was a woman that says something like that. Not saying that it would be okay if it came from a guy, but again, a woman saying that, where this woman could possibly be in a position similar someday that Melody was in, and a lot of other women find themselves being in, where they're in a relationship with someone that is unfaithful, doing stuff behind their backs. Like, if that happened to you and the woman looks better than you, or whatever, you know, you think in terms of, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder, we know that, but would you come out and say, well, you know what, she looks better than me, so I really couldn't blame him? It's so stupid. But again, it just is this thing about the audacity of this woman. Just get away from everything that is love and marriage Huntsville. But that's the problem. There lies the problem. She wants to be connected to this platform. She wants to be connected to this show. She actually believes that there should be scenes with her and Martell and their child together, and going back and forth. Like they'll have the scene with Tisha and her husband, and they'll have a scene with Kimmy and her husband, and they'll have a scene where Melody and Martell are exchanging the children, or they're fussing about something or whatever, and she thinks that the next scene should be Martell coming over to the house and him blasting Melody and doing what he does, which is always just trashing this woman and saying how horrible she is, and she's a horrible mother, and she's keeping me away from my kids, or she's fussing at me in front of the children, or she's singing that song in front of the children, or whatever it is that he does. Like, she really believes that she deserves a space on that show. No, you don't. No, you don't. And I heard that Melody said she does not want to film with him anymore, and kudos to her. Because honestly, even though he says he created the show, he wants to take all of the credit. I don't believe that. But I don't believe he should be on the show anymore. Because I remember hearing Carlos say that when the divorce was filed, Martell reached out to him and asked, like, so does that mean I'm not going to be on the show anymore? And Carlos was like, well, yeah, you're still going to be on the show. Pity. Carlos should have been like, yeah, and you're not going to be on the show anymore. That's what I would have loved to have heard him say. But, he's not going to say that because, again, they need the drama. They need the conflict and all of those different things. They need that for the show. It helps. Although it can be tiring after a certain period of time, and how many seasons can they have of Melody and Martell going at it with each other? I really don't want to see too much of that. And I believe that Melody is a very smart woman. She does, operate in wisdom. I mean, there's sometimes that she can be petty. Who can't be? Everybody has that tendency. It's what you choose to do. And I just believe at times that she just may be getting tired of the foolishness. So she's just like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. And I could tell from the last season when they went to Las Vegas, and she said it. She said, because they asked if she had a good time. And she said, well, honestly, not really. And she was being honest. She just looked really tired and worn out. And she just was like, if you are going to have a trip or have an outing or something and you're going to invite him, just don't invite me. She didn't say invite me and don't invite him. And I felt that was a big thing of her to say. She was just like, look, I'm not telling you all to choose who you want to be in a relationship or friendship with, but if you want to have him here, then just don't invite me. I'm fine with not being there. And I believe that. I do. So this thing with Dr. Heavenly coming out and apologizing, I believe the real reason that Dr. Heavenly did was, listen, Dr. Heavenly, she is a doctor. She is a doctor. And she is smart. Very, very smart woman. And yeah, she can be messy and petty and all of that. And that's one of the things that I like about her from the show Married to Medicine. And now she's doing her blog, and it's a hobby, and she's making money from the hobby too, which is cool. Because for this, what I'm doing now, this is a hobby for me. This is definitely not my bread and butter. So, kudos to her for that. But Melody is just, not Melody, I'm sorry, but Dr. Heavenly, she is friends with Melody, but she also doesn't want to have anything on her conscience when it comes to this young lady, and I use those words loosely, Ariane. And it's like, look, if she says that she's been feeling like she wants to take herself out of here, then I don't want to feel like I contributed to any of it. So I'm just going to be the bigger person and say, look, I'm sorry if I made you feel any type of way, because that was never my intention. But Dr. Heavenly knows that nothing she said was wrong. Nothing she said was wrong. She did not disparage this woman's character. She didn't lie on her or Martell. They just don't like the truth. It's like Jack Nicholson said in that movie, you can't handle the truth. It's not her fault that she can't handle the truth. But Dr. Heavenly is just like, it's just not worth it for me. I am a career woman. I am a doctor. This blog for me is just fun. It's a hobby. I'm not trying to go that hard on anybody. Like, I don't need that on me. So, like, moving on. There are a whole lot of other things to talk about. So if it means me having to apologize just to be the bigger person, then I will go ahead and I will do that. So that's the real reason why Dr. Heavenly apologized. She didn't apologize because she said anything wrong or she lied or anything of the sort. Because listen, I've seen some other bloggers who have talked about this situation, and one guy, like, he's funny. He even said, like, look, take this beaker of bleach and just go ahead and drink that if you feel that that's what you want to do. And to me, it was funny. I mean, he's not telling her to just like go ahead and do it, but he was pretty much being sarcastic to say, I don't believe you. You need more people. You're really doing this for the sympathy vote to try to make people feel sorry for you, and because you know that the show is about to premiere this weekend. So you want to draw more attention to you. And he's like, I just don't believe you. So like, if that's what you want to do, like, here, take this beaker of bleach. So, I mean, it was funny. But, you know, for Dr. Heavenly, it's just like, look, I'm not trying to go there. That's not how I operate. So, look, if it means that I need to apologize to get it off of my conscience and to just move forward, then that's what I'm going to do. And that's what she did. But she didn't tell any lies. She said nothing wrong. I agreed with her and almost everyone that agrees with my commentary, which is, I don't believe that she is really serious about that. I just believe it's primarily for attention, period. To draw the attention back to her and try to draw some sort of sympathy to just get people to have some petition drawn out. Like, we've seen people do that before when it comes to some of these reality shows. Like, we've, you know, seen Nene do it and whatever. Did it work? No. But, you know, to have somebody start a petition for Carlos King, to have Ariane Curry on Love and Marriage Huntsville's next season, or have her show up at the reunion and to be able to share her side of the story and confront Melody or whatever. And it's like, it's ridiculous. It's not going to happen. So save it. Like one of my favorite songs by The Weeknd right now, save your tears for another day. Okay? Thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And until the next time, I'm just being beautifully honest.